This video is for the purpose of supporting an argument for deporting African Americans. It seems like about 12 countries had people deported those countries, but it seems that the African Americans are actually getting away with things in the United States. And they are labeling the deportees criminals, but we have criminal police doing things off the computer. I have African American state trooper was attacking me off the computer, and I had African American sheriff male did something outrageous government conduct and had me arrested, and then I had also in Broward County it was occurring, and north of Palm Beach County. So I guess now they have labeled me prey, but I feel I'm trying to take an entourage or delegation of 20 people to go to the international court, because when O.J. Simpson's wife was killed, that was just the beginning. So Africa is actually ready for African American deportees because China completed infrastructure projects, roads, ports, bridges, railways, power stations in Africa, and they completed them more cheaply than the IMF would have completed them. So when African Americans terminated me at the city of Delray Beach, I had a good 5 year written evaluation, and they could not do my job. And even 8 years later, people came down to Boca Raton, where I'm at, to tell me that they could not do my job. So I guess I need to pull my written 5 year evaluation, because I guess by me getting a good evaluation and they push me out, that's sort of an internal coup d'etat. However, so what African Americans are permitted to do, if it's permitted by the Republicans or by some permission structure, as in O.J. Simpson case, I needed to stop. I'm one of 6 girls, but it's really one of 9 girls because we also had 3 female cousins. But I had a gifted child. My child tested gifted at 6 years old. I've been working since I'm 17. I was not allowed to go to a divorce court, but I did have a African male state trooper, African American male state trooper, come on my job, and they damaged my house, and I talked to the FBI also. So I think that the African Americans are getting into extreme misogyny now. So I don't know if it falls under this Dick Cheney and his daughter speaking about the permission structure. I don't know if the permission structure was supposed to really uh, allow Kamala Harris to campaign to be president, to be a female president. I don't know what the permission structure involved, but I do see that, I came here as a student into Miami-Dade Community College, sort of, I was cultivated by the Jehovah Witness organization, which I found out now is Joseph Rutherford is a descendant of George Washington Rutherford. I just read his book about government, and he has a lot of subjugation of women in the Jehovah Witness organization, that which is a whole other video. But I'm talking about the permission structure. My gifted child was destroyed. I was abused. I have many dates on videos regarding things that they did. So I am emailing this to Donald Trump because he is doing the deportation and saying the people are criminal. Well, Trump is headed in the correct direction because he made a friend of Japan and the Toyota Ponyo robots, and Florida Atlantic University AI Sandbox has its own robot. So I think that if you deport I think the men are the problem. I don't think the women are such a problem. I think the male police gangs, and it's because they're, it's like, I had a state trooper check my record and he said no prior calls. So what African American state trooper did. They fired me from my job, and then they ticketed my car back to back and towed it, but they were violating my Fourth Amendment rights on two properties, which is another video. But I President Obama is not every African American. He was educated at Harvard Law School, he and Michelle. And so he had a dialogue for people regarding how America should be, and it was about education. I think it was more about that. But I had an African American, the external coup d'etat was this African American male state trooper who was attacking me off the computer. They violated my Fourth Amendment rights at my condo and violated my Fourth Amendment rights at my house and ticketed my car back to back and towed my car. And all of this is off the computer because the other state trooper did not find it. And so I sent two videos to Donald Trump. I don't know if he got them. Now, Monday, December 30, 2024, a state trooper checked my driver's license. He said no prior cause, indicating that the violation of my Fourth Amendment rights, and the pictures to the FBI indicate that there was a coup d'etat off the computer, external by a state trooper. I also had an African American sheriff, male, who did something outrageous, and the details are in another video. I went to work up in north of Jupiter, and I started working. I was there 4 days, and it seems like they were talking to each other, doing some kind of bragging about about the condition which they have plunged me into, being a victim of misogyny. So I know that the robot police is what they have in China. They'll reduce conflict, reduce fatigue, reduce errors, reduce population, reduce costs, reduce trouble, reduce African American gangs, reduce fighting over scarce resources. So the FBI said that somebody was investigating me. That's why they were violating my Fourth Amendment rights on my properties. But then the state trooper said no prior cause. And such abuses off the computer are sort of symptoms of an external coup d'etat. But the robots can, I notice, I feel like I'm stalked by a lot of people, and I see these garbage robots here because one day I saw two garbage trucks, like they're keeping track of me, making sure I'm down in some fashion. Well, I went to 1 year of college in Jamaica, 2 years of college in Miami, and I graduated from FAU here. But I feel like there's a type of misogyny which is intended to stop me and make sure I am down or held down or degraded or devalued. So these are my argument for deporting African Americans. We had this. I don't know if the Obama free phone. There are many Obama free phone programs, and I don't know if the funds for those came out of the Chase $12 billion TARP bailout funds that Obama handled. But because was attacked in Broward and I was attacked in north of Palm Beach County, I feel that I don't know if it's just a phone or a police radio. I don't know. Well, since the African Americans are only 13.7% of the population of the USA, they are being so intrusive and being so uh, outrageous. And in general, I find them to be like thugs, loud bullying, savage conduct, and communication. I feel that they have low IQ and they're thinking the more discussion and bullying, it will be more acceptable. I find an innate betrayal symptom in Africa and USA because, of course, the Africans sold each other tribes into slavery and they came here. And then here, they are, well, they're having gang activity, but who are they betraying? Jesus? The practice, the art of degrading a woman in word and music. For instance, Kanye West has his wife nude doing oral sex on YouTube. Now, the coup d'etat, bragging saying we are the government, they called me from abroad about a job, and the African Americans said we are the government, and I worked for the European Union, so it's not public service. That's wrestling for power or a coup d'etat. And then the African Americans like to say we are replacing you. What they have done is they have pushed me out of government. They abused my children, including a gifted child, abused them, pushed them out. Never were my children allowed to speak before a judge to protect them. And they were cutting off my free phone services also. I feel that Africa does not like itself because the African Americans really like white people, and African Americans really like white women and lighter skinned children. I think another reason is it's impossible to unite Africa and impossible to unite African Americans in the USA because you have the likes of Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, and Serena Williams. They are very rich people. They marry white people. And then you have the poor African Americans. But in the middle, you have the African American gangs who perpetrate the coup d'etats, the stalkings, and trackings. Now, China prepared the infrastructure by replacing the IMF on African projects in the 2020s. And robots will work better and they will do the work better of the African Americans, all the work, including garbage, police, nurse, etc. African American police gangs were sheriff and state, and they violate human rights off the computer. African Americans are pushing others out of banks and stealing funds and closing accounts. That occurred to me. Uh, that happened to me. I had an account at I think Financial Credit Union. It took $25 out and then closed the account. Nigerians are opening credit cards in American names, and the Nigerians are helping the African Americans in some way. Obama's family are Nigerians. Sex and money are more important than human rights and safety of women and children. When they bullied me out of my job with this job, Delray Beach, up to 8 years later, residents came down to my other job and said they could not do the work. So government is not important. The work is not important. It's just their power. African Americans talk and rob and want to use me. So I have to say, stay away. It's not my fault that the African American police did this or they did that. But when I try to talk about the things that they have done, it seems like Americans don't want to talk about it. That means it will happen again and again. They will bring cure or justice. They are violating human rights and civil rights. It's from Broward to North Palm Beach County. I have contacted the Miami Herald too, and I have a coup d'etat video which covers details and dates. They are bragging about domination or degrading of another person. Their value system is based on deception and barbaric taste level. This is my 22 reasons why you should deport the African Americans. I think if this goes unchecked, it will take control of all USA government, banks, and necessary functions of our nations. And I think you should replace all the African Americans with robots and deport them to Africa. This is one girl. She came down from Delray. She knew about the political issue about the girl coming in. I have a good written evaluation, and the girl comes in and bullies me. She knows about it. And so she comes down and stalks and says certain things. But African Americans are not weren't comfortable until they bullied me out of my condo and my house. That is, when you put that together, it's 365 and 73,000. That's over 400,000 in properties which uh, they abused, ridiculed, and victimized me until I got to that point where I lost those. But I had wrongful termination because I have had four government jobs, and the city of Delray Beach, I had a good written evaluation. So I get stalked frequently. Now, here's the situation that really bugs me. This is the girl, a girl, lady who was there 37 years at the city of Delray Beach. They did not know that that was my fourth government job. But I worked for the government of Jamaica, the European Union. This girl came in and she started ridiculing me, speaking about my ex-husband, and speaking about information when could only come from the law firm. And when I met with the city manager, I didn't know the word bullied really. I was not really focusing on the word bullied. I was trying to say something's going wrong because she was talking about things in the law office that was writing me. taking my case to court. And her husband is a state registered sex offender, and this is her other, maybe her children's, three children's father, maybe. But she ridiculed me about my husband with secondhand information, which comes out of the office of the law firm. She ruined my career. And since her husband is a state registered sex offender, I saw other homos on the job, but I feel that Delray Beach is really a very bad place. But I feel like I did a very good job. Now, this is not more about Delray Beach. They did have a gay club over there. And as I said, Denny's husband is state registered sex offender, and then there was all those homos at the club. I did go inside that club. But I feel like the value system is about bullying, abuse, sex, music, sports, and misogyny. And the future generations will have no decency and they will be lost. So we have to handle this responsibly because Obama became president, but African Americans cannot assume power in every part of American life just because Obama became president. Because he had poise, humility, and he had grace. He had a lot of skills that supported him being president. But the state trooper who was harassing me and ticketing me back to back and working off the computer, uh, he's just doing something illegal or or just making misogyny a practice. So I don't know if when they killed O.J. Simpson's wife, which was a white woman, and then President Obama, first male became president, and then I see all the police gangs, African American police gangs. I'm not sure if the white people are working along with the African American gangs, but it's usually the African American police which are in my face. I've had a lot of interactions with them. So I'm trying to go to a court because, like I say, I do read a lot about the law and about the courts. And we know that Donald Trump also, they treated him like a clown in the American court. I was in the American court and everything was okay, but he said they weaponized the US courts. And he said that they won the case at the ICC. And of course, I'm saying I'm going to win this case at the ICC. And I actually have a delegation page and I'm contacting people because I don't think that O.J. Simpson's wife and I are the only two victims. So in summary, I want to say that the value system for the United States is at stake, and we're glad to have all the people who are from India, like Usha Vance and Mr. Patel, who is the head of the FBI, and the robots. We think that will improve uh, the value system of society and the future of the students of FAU too. Thank you. I'm Idris Marissa Turner, and I'm going to send this to Donald Trump. I don't know if I'm trying to get 20 people out of four groups for the delegation to go to the international attorney and to the international court because we now have different groups being attacked, like the limited value group, the Indian graduate student who was killed in Seattle. They said she was of limited value, and he was laughing that she just got a check. Then we have all the people who are deported in an inhumane manner. Then we know we have all the government employees who are being fired. So I think that to make 2026 a better year, we have to address this situation now.